Hello and welcome to Spanish first year in NUI Galway. We're going to start today with these grammar lectures online, in which we're going to introduce you the essential grammar concepts of first year. These videos are thought for beginners mainly, but they'll be a great resource for any people, any students that have been doing Spanish in Leave Cert and want to review basic concepts and basic grammar accuracy. This first grammar lecture was created by Dr. Matt Wallen, the head of Spanish, and Pilar Alderete, which is me. I'm going to be the voice of these materials for you, and they have been previously presented by Raquel Rodriguez, who is a PhD student of ours. In this presentation today, we're going to remind you that if you're taking BA Arts, you're going to be taking language and spoken classes online or face-to-face if the situation allows us, and also a culture class mainly online for now. There'll also be grammar lectures like this one online for you to prepare before you come to class, as well as a vocabulary module online, which you also have to do on your own. These two materials have always been online because we believe that for language learning it's best to have this approach called blended learning, in which you present series of materials before you come to class, and then we can actually get to the actual practice. If you are doing BA Connect, you won't be doing the culture class. If you're doing a denominated degree, you normally do the culture class. So make sure you know what degree you've enrolled into. The beginner's code is SH1100. The intermediate code is SH1101. If you are an intermediate, you need a minimum of H4 in Leaving Cert. Everybody that got H4 in Leaving Cert will have to be in the intermediate group. SH1102 is the culture code, and all non-connect students will be registered on that. There will be a sign-up area on Blackboard to sign up for language group and spoken groups, because even though classes may be online, we'll still want to keep the classes to small numbers so you can get as much practice as possible in this new format that we're teaching. Learning a new language, we need something clear, which is our ACTION acronym. You need to attend, you need to consolidate what you learn. In fact, you need to prepare before you come to class. You need to use a lot of technology with us. You need to do a lot of independent learning, organize your learning, and try to work within networks of students and practice your Spanish with people that are in your same boat. So, in terms of the grammar lecture, you won't need to sign a form because it's going to be fully online. You will be reviewing what is covered. You'll be checking on Blackboard if there's any materials that we've uploaded for you. You'll be doing research and preparing these audios and these PowerPoints or PDFs that we present to you, the documents that we present to you. You'll know class time, venues, you'll organize your materials, and you'll create networks with your students, with your other students. Spanish is part of a network or a family of language, if you want to look at it that way. So it has connections that are both grammatical and lexical to all these languages. So it has links to Latin and to other Indo-European family of languages. You have a link there in which you can see the full map of where Spanish is at. This is a language tree that you can see, and Spanish could be within this family of languages here. Okay, you may want to enjoy yourself and find where English is down here in the Low German. And even with Irish is in this family of languages here with Irish and Manx and Scottish Gaelic and others. The first thing we're going to learn today is the concept of inflection. In Spanish, we have something called grammatical patterning. So verbs, nouns, pronouns, and adjectives change their endings depending on what they're doing. So it's important to work on consolidating and drilling these forms, as you know from other languages you have been studying. Right, so normally inflection, and agreement work together to create a group of words. For example, the woman is Spanish. Okay, so Woman and Spanish refer to the same entity, okay, to the woman. So in the Spanish, we need something called concordancia. In English, we would call it agreement. So all nouns in Spanish have gender, either masculine or feminine. We do not have a neutral. When you find any new noun, we advise you to learn its gender or to find a way to annotate gender so that you remember them, okay? A, generally, words ending in A are feminine and ending in O are masculine, sorry. Other words that are typically feminine and A words ending in sion or thion, S-I-O-N, C-I-O-N, or that or tat, D-A-D, T-A-D. Opposite to that, any word ending in age, masaje, garaje, A-J-E, would be typically masculine, as well as any word ending in or amor, terror, etc. Okay. La is a definite article that refers to mujer. Mujer is feminine. Es is the regular verb of the infinitive ser, to be, and agrees with mujer. Española is an adjective and refers to mujer, and the dictionary form of this is español. In this, we have indefinite and definite articles, okay, in Spanish. So we have un, una, unos, unas for the masculine and plural of the indefinite article. It'll be equivalent to a perro, un perro, a dog, una casa, a house. But we also have a plural, which English would use the word some for that, for example. Unos perros, some dogs, unas casas, some houses. Definite articles. El, la, los, and las. El da, el perro. La da, la casa. Los perros, las casas. Okay? Sample nouns. Un libro, unos libros, el libro, los libros. Una casa, unas casas, la casa, las casas. Un hotel, unos hoteles, el hotel, los hoteles. Una mujer, unas mujeres, la mujer, las mujeres. If we add something else to these article and nouns, we could add an adjective like rojo or blanco or interesante or inteligente. So these adjectives also have to agree, like you have in Irish, for example, with the noun that they go with. So un libro rojo, unos libros rojos, el libro rojo, los libros rojos, una casa blanca, unas casas blancas, la casa blanca, las casas blancas. O un chico interesante, unos chicos interesantes, el chico interesante, los chicos interesantes, una chica inteligente, unas chicas inteligentes, la chica inteligente, las chicas inteligentes. In these samples we're giving you place names, gentilicios. Un hombre español, una mujer española, un hombre irlandés, una mujer irlandesa. El hombre español, la mujer española, el hombre irlandés, la mujer irlandesa. Los hombres españoles, las mujeres españolas, los hombres irlandeses, las mujeres irlandesas, or unos hombres españoles, unas mujeres españolas, unos hombres irlandeses, unas mujeres irlandesas. Take some time with this document when you review it or revise it to be able to note all these inflections, all these endings that you can see in this set of words, in these groups of words. So as a recap, all nouns have gender. The gender of a noun determines the form of the article and adjectives that go with it. Article, nouns, and adjective must agree in gender and number. That's the idea of agreement, okay? A few notes for you is that obviously there are exceptions that you're going to find in the next document uploaded called agreement. Masculine nouns ending in A are common. So el día, el mapa, el problema, el sistema, most words ending in ema, ama, or oma. The opposite also applies as feminine nouns ending in o, like la foto, la mano, la radio. So sometimes it's better to check out the gender of the noun in a dictionary. For example, an online dictionary like Word Reference. Number is very easily formed because normally all plurals we just add an S. That is when the word ends in a vowel. If the word ends in a consonant, we're going to add ES. The only exception to this is when the word ends in a Z, in which we're going to change that Z to C and then add ES, like the word feliz, happy. The plural will be felices with a CES. So far we have reviewed all these examples. We would like you to practice these if you want with some materials, like in this case, what you can see online at the moment, Spanish verb tenses as an E typo right here. It's going to be that there. By Dorothy Richmond. That book is online in the Hardiman Library, but that book doesn't really work a lot on gender. It works more on verbs. So one of the websites that I would recommend to you is if you Google the word Barbara Nelson Spanish exercises, okay, Barbara Nelson, Nelson, Spanish exercises, and you will find some practice there to work on your agreement. We also remind you to go to the online vocabulary module and go through the words about family. Okay, now there's a lot of words there. We are not aiming you for you to read to know all of them, but you need to know at the end of this year you would have to be familiar at least with 3,000 words. So make sure you take your time and memorize those that really apply to you and are relevant to your experience.